Glammers, welcome back to another episode of Tease the Nation. Today we have a man known for a broken heart from the United Kingdom, George Hayday of Hayday, here to talk about the band's latest and greatest endeavors, plus what is yet to come. How are you doing today, George?
Yeah, well, good. Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course.
Really excited for it. Just absolutely boiling at the moment because of the heat wave in the UK at the moment, but surviving. I've got two fans running at the moment, so hopefully I won't melt away.
Let's hope.
Yeah, don't worry. We're sweating ourselves because it's like, look, if you're going to dress glam, you're going to be a little uncomfortable at all times because it's like leather pants, heat, not a good combination.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be worse. You could have no air conditioning. I've had to do that a couple of times. That's not fun.
Yeah,
My
that's
air
very true.
conditioning used to break every single summer until we got a new thing, and
Oh,
it's so horrific.
Yeah.
The summers so bad.
So for me, when I went off to my old college, my dorm did not have air conditioning. So it would be like we would be in the middle of this horrid like heat break. There would be advisories saying that, it's sensitive for certain groups, and even the college would be like, yeah, stay hydrated kind of thing, and there's no air conditioning. So you're just like dying. It's
Like, yeah, we
fantastic.
can't fix the air conditioning. Just drink a lot of water. You'll be
Yeah.
fine.
Stay
Heat
hydrated.
stroke is just like heat stroke isn't a thing.
Well, that's the thing. It's not even that the air conditioning was broken. There was just no air conditioner units in our dorms because they were that old.
Were they not updated since 1776, bro?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're just more hardcore over in America, aren't they?
A little more. That or we're just more insane. I don't know.
It could be that.
It could be both.
I believe either one, honestly.
All right. Now, getting back to business. So Hayday has been rather busy in the last few months, having released two singles, Get Out of Here and Broken Heart. Can you discuss the inspiration for both of those songs and the recording process?
Yeah, so basically, last year when I was putting the band together, I was just demoing out some tracks, like just ideas, and basically, I mean, both of these songs came together so quick because I'll come up with a riff typically, but this is when I really started having to go at like lyric writing. Like, I'd done lyric writing before, but this time I was like, I'm going to try a different strategy because I find when you're trying to write songs, you end up pausing a lot and it can get a bit hazy because you're trying to actually write a song. Whereas this time I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to think of. I got this idea from Mike Tramp from White Line because he always talks about how he writes lyrics. I got this idea of literally think of a story, just create a story. It doesn't have to be about your life or anyone you know's like life. Just literally come up with a random scenario. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to write about someone who's going to be framed. This is for Get Out of Here. And they're going to get in big trouble with the police and that kind of thing. And that's how Get Out of Here kind of, came about. And I was listening to a lot of a mixture. I was listening to a lot of glam metal, but I was also listening to a lot of like Thin Lizzy, UFO, that kind of thing. So like, especially like Thin Lizzy, I love like Phil Lynot's style of writing. Yeah, basically I just ended up writing the song from scratch that way. And it all ended up just coming together. And then the same sort of thing with Broken Heart. I literally woke up one morning, had this riff in my head, like this chorus, it just picked up in my head. I was like, I'm gonna grab a guitar. And I ended up just figuring out the riff. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna go writing some lyrics. And I just thought of a scenario where, everyone's gone through heartache at some stage in their life. And I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna do it from the perspective of a girl getting her heart broken. I'm just gonna write it, and that's how those songs came together really. But at that stage I was still forming the band. Like Tom, our drummer, wasn't even in the band at that stage. Like, we were still trying to find drummers because I had Benji and Mikey on board by then, but we had a lot of problems with drummers. And it was literally a week before the recording studio, we all met up, went through the songs, and it all came together. And yeah, Tom was piecing it all together in the studio pretty much of how the drums were going. So we ended up literally going into the studio at the very last minute with the lineup, and that's how it all came together really. And the way we record as well, like our producer Richard, he's very much like, and he did all the stuff when I was in Roxxi Red as well, and I think he still does the stuff in Roxxi Red. He just sits there and he absorbs the ideas, and then he'll say, why don't you try this, or why don't you try this and that. And it a bit like Bob Rock kind of style with Metallica. He's like pushing them to the your limit. And it works so well because he'll think of something that you might not necessarily have thought of originally, and it just came together like that, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like every band needs that kind of producer that like they're
definitely.
trying to push you like more than you would push yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, it makes a world of difference. And I think as well, like if you're paying like money for someone to produce you,
Hmm.
that's what you should expect really. Because
Hmm.
I mean, other bands I've been in, I've worked with producers where they've just been yes men. Like they'll just sit there play and they'll be like, yeah, that'll do, and you're like, no, that wasn't a good take, and they're like, yeah, it'll do. They just want their money. But with Richard, he's very much like, yeah, I'm going to really give you your value here and make sure I'm working hard to make sure you're happy with your sound.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's how
But
go
I was
together
gonna,
there.
sorry to interrupt you, but I was gonna say that's why I feel like a lot of musicians produce themselves is because they're like, I'm not gonna do any worse than hiring someone, and I'm gonna save, I don't
Yeah,
know, a couple grand.
yeah, definitely, because it is expensive. I
Hmm.
mean, I totally get it. Recording now is very much like you've got a lot of the technology you can do at home. But for me, I've always been more like I like having that fifth person there because they're
Hmm.
sort of non-biased to what you're writing as well. It's just nice having that input from someone who's
Hmm.
not in the band for one. But I do get it. It's a lot of money to
Hmm.
record these days, especially in like a good recording studio. I mean, it's something we're even talking about for our next two singles we want to do because our bass player is in the process of like setting up like a little home studio. So I think we're going to test one of the next songs out and just see how that sounds. And if we're happy with it,
Hmm.
might go for it. But yeah,
Exactly. Why not go for it?
yeah,
You only live once.
yeah,
It's good to have a no nonsense producer. Yes men just
yeah,
are boring. You need one that's gonna tell it to you straight and tell you if your take is shit and tell if it's good. You
Yeah.
know,
exactly,
you need someone to
exactly that.
listen to that and go, no, that was fucking dog shit. Y'all suck. Go
Hmm.
go back in that studio, redo that
Redo it.
take.
You might
Just
hate
like
Don't
them at the end of the
don't piss
day,
me
but it's
off.
going to be a great album. So,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And the funny thing is, I mean, even once you've walked out of that recording session, you
Hmm.
feel like, oh my god, sometimes you're like, oh my god, I got to learn these songs again. So
Hmm.
you think like you then got to relearn the songs you've come up with. So when you're playing them live, I
Right.
found this throughout with Hayday and even when I was in Roxxi, it was the exact same thing. It was like we go in the studio with these demos. We know they're gonna not come out exactly how the demos are. He'll find Richard will find something, but will strike gold there, and it always works
Hmm.
out well like that. So yeah,
Also,
it's
like,
fun.
before we move on, because I know we're doing a lot of side conversations, I feel like a good producer can make or break an album. Because I've heard some albums where the songwriting is fantastic,
Yeah,
and it's just something got lost in that production field, and it just did not.
yeah. Yeah, massively. I mean, you look at like all the '80s ones, like Tom Werman or Warman, I forget his second name is, but did like all the Motley Crue stuff and the Cheap
Mhm.
Trick stuff. He's brilliant, and
Mhm.
the thing is, you can tell that it was his production as well. Whenever you listen to the bands, like I think he did some stuff with Dokken as well before George Lynch kicked off of
Mhm.
it. And then you can hear it on the Poison Open Up and Say Our album as well. It's very similar. It's the same production because it's the same producer, and then you hear someone like Michael Wagner with
Mhm.
White Lion. It's a more raw kind of sound, even with like given like Striper, someone who's on command.
Mhm.
You can it's Michael Wagner because it's that more stripped back kind of sound. Then you've got someone like Bob Rock, who just brings out all the polish and stuff with like Motley Crue, Blue Murder, and then Metallica. So
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, definitely makes a lot of difference.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. So you guys just announced your next single, Breakout, which will be released on August 28th. With all the singles coming out, are you guys hinting at possibly releasing a Hayday debut album sometime in the near future?
Ooh. It's definitely something I really want to do for sure because I've never done like a full album before. I've always done like EPs or singles. I just think at this stage we're at the moment where the band's still trying to grow its audience a lot. I find
Mhm.
that singles are the best way to do that because you're consistently releasing stuff and it just keeps people a bit more interested. I think once you've got the audience for it, I think then it's appropriate to do an album because then you're going to get you've got that audience who are definitely going to give it all the the love and attention it wants, right? So I think with singles, whilst we're still figuring out our sound because we're still such a young band. I mean, we've only been with each other since December, really. So um, I think until we've got more of a established audience, I think we're just going to keep releasing singles for now. But it's definitely something on the cards. Maybe potentially towards the end of next year.
Mhm.
Um, but at the moment, we're all pretty happy doing singles. But never say never. It's definitely something I want to do at some point. So it's got to
Yeah.
be done.
Yeah, never say never.
Yeah. I
Well, your
mean,
current singles have been amazing, so
they
Oh,
have
thank you
been.
so much. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like I mean, last year I had a massive break. I was literally just doing covers, and then I was like, I need to keep writing stuff. And I was literally just going for a lot of, listening to, I'd literally go downstairs where my vinyl player is, put on a record, and I would sit there and just absorb it. I wouldn't have my phone with me. I literally just sit there and listen to it how people would have listened to it years ago. And I get even like the lyric sheets just to get some inspiration on what they're singing about and that kind of thing. And you end up just piecing it all together. And next minute, you're starting to write your own stuff, and then it just flows really nicely. Mm-hmm. So it's one of those things. It's just I just did the old school thing, really. Put on some music, absorb into it, and just see what happens.
Listening to it how they did in the days of old.
Yeah, the days of old, the late 20th century.
Over yonder,
the years of the dinosaur.
The late 1900s.
Yeah, the late 1900s. But I think releasing signals, god damn, I can't speak, singles is a much better approach. A lot of bands do that nowadays because it's easier to produce and to promote. Because unfortunately, whenever you release music, you have to promote the shit out of it, or no one's going to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
And albums are great. I know me and Roxxi love albums, but we're also huge music nerds. But it's a oh damn, what's the word? It's an investment,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's hard as well because even the way like music is now, like how you promote stuff, unless you're on like a major label, or even if say you're like an independent artist, it's hard now even promoting a full album on social media because you give it all at once and that's it. It's like you've got 10 songs, and then people listen to it, and then they're like, what's next? Because it's just the way people are now. We want constant new stuff thrown at us, don't we? So it's just hard trying to promote it, I think, now, unless you're a major label backing or independent label. But Vain Wild did it, and it went really well for them, didn't it, with their release? So.
But on the flip side, Artem's also a promotion hoe. Like you see all the reels that he makes and stuff. It's like I feel like that's unfortunately the only way to get people to look at your stuff is doing all those silly reels and stuff.
At this point, Artem's full-time job should just be social media.
It should be. He's an Instagram model and influencer at the same time.
Yeah, but it's just the way the music industry is now. But in 5 years' time, or even like a couple of years' time, it'll be different. I found it. I've been in this, 10 years now. But ever since Roxxi kind of took off when I was in like 2022, 4 years, I've seen it change a lot then as well. And that's not even 4 years. Whereas like 70s and 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s was pretty much all the same most of the time. And then it got to the 60s was album singles, wasn't it? 70s was albums, and then 80s was all about the music video. So it's. Nowadays, it's like everything changes every year.
Yeah. Wow. So interesting enough, I think so. My predictions for the state of music is I think more people are going to want tactile things again, especially with the rise of, unfortunately, AI music and like Spotify and Apple Music. You don't know what you're listening to is real anymore. But if like they're printing stuff and like physically handing you're like, okay, this is human-made stuff.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, people are always asking. Our first show we did. And it was a very last minute show because our original show got cancelled because the promoter pulled the gig because of we're supposed to be opening up for a band up in Liverpool, and the promoter ended up putting the gig, but luckily I was playing with my Motley Crue tribute band the following night, weirdly enough on a Sunday, so that was a strange day to do a gig over here anyway, and luckily we got offered the slot for that, but because we're parachuting in so last minute, even people, I had all these like postcards. But we've ordered just with a picture of the band. People were wanting to buy them, and they barely knew who we were. Stuff like that, little things.
Yeah,
people want something, don't they? It's
yeah. I was talking to some of my other friends in bands, and I'm like, you guys need to start like printing out your tickets for your shows. Like people want that. They want something to have like in a memory box to look at in 10 years. Because you can't do the same when you have like a digital ticket on your phone, and things get lost when you have to transfer your phone over and stuff like that. But if you have like a physical ticket, you can frame it, you can like I said, put it in a box and look at it in 10 years.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just one of those things. I think as well with such a niche genre like glam, it's even more collectible to people. So I think we're really lucky with our genre, where I think it would just be like like an indie band or something. I think it's a bit different with them, but with us, where it's such a small scene and small genre, people cherish it more because they're more like hardcore to that,
They do.
loving the music so
And
much.
I think
So
it's like a combination of like the 80s fan base and like the vintage fan base where it kind of goes hand in hand
yeah,
with the glam. So it's like people listening to glam also they love that tactile stuff, you know.
definitely,
Like
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of glam metal fans I know have like this huge cassette or CD collection, you know.
Mm. Yeah, no, that's really cool. I mean, I had a guy message me earlier today, funny enough. I don't know if he's even been to any of our gigs, but he was like, can you send me a set list for one of your gigs coming up?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." Like,
Mhm.
you know, stuff like that. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
it's cool.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, I'm cool with that. Why not?
Why not? Yeah. All right. Going back to Vein Wine a little bit. So, you guys, your new video for Broken Heart, Artem made a cameo in it.
Mhm.
So our question is, why do you think these kind of cameos are so important, and how does it build camaraderie within your scene?
I mean, the most important thing is like in a scene such as ours is all about supporting each other. Like,
Hmm.
especially you look at years ago with the bands, they're all on the Sunset Strip, weren't they? All the glam bands, and everyone, they all were friends and they all knew each other. I mean, it's like what was it? Rat Back for More. You got Nicky and Tommy in the video for that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Posing as cops, and then you've got Cinderella. You got Bon Jovi making an appearance in that. I just think it's nice because it shows that you just said like the camaraderie and the support that the scene has for each other. I mean, when we were trying to pick people for it, the first person I thought was Artem because I was like, I need someone who looks like an '80s, like kind of rocker, guy in it to play the cheating boyfriend. And I thought Artem nails the image for that. Like long hair, looks great, and he's well known in the scene,
Hmm.
and he's a really good friend of mine as well. So it was no brainer really having Artem in it. It was, but I think it's important. It's just nice. Like whenever I see like a video, you know, any of the underground bands, and you just see certain people, and you go, oh, that's from so and so from that band. It's nice because you just
Right.
think, oh, it is all like a nice linked scene, isn't it? It's
Hmm.
yeah, but I think it's important because I mean the problem is where I live, like especially like the local scene around here, you've got some really good bands, but it's also all over the place in terms of genres. Like you'll have like an indie band, you have like a metalcore band, you'll have like a normal hard rock band, and then you'll have like a glam band like us, and there's
Hmm.
no like you know no one's really talking with each other much or sharing each other's stuff. It's
Hmm.
just the way it is, and it's sad really because you all want to help each other out.
Yeah.
If I was putting on a gig, I'd want to get a couple of bands from our scene in on it because I know that the audience is going to be the same, and then
Hmm.
it gives each band a chance to grow from there. So
Yeah.
I think it's the same with music videos. I think if you have other people from other bands in your music video, our audience, if they're not, they probably are already aware of Vain Wild, but they might want to go, if they weren't, they'd want to go and check out Vain Wild stuff. And if I
Hmm.
was in Artem's video, it'd be vice versa. So yeah, I think that's where it's really important with all that.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder if like the way us modern glam people react to seeing our favorite like modern scene people in music videos. I wonder if it's the exact same way people react when they saw someone like Axl Rose show up in a Michael Monroe music
Oh,
video.
I'm
Yeah, I wonder if
sure.
it's the exact same feeling where we're like,
Yeah.
I know that guy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean,
right,
it's even like with some of the like the glam videos, you sometimes even recognize the extras in the video as well.
Hmm.
Like you go, oh, I recognize that villain there from this one as well. Or
Yeah.
you recognize the girl in the video. Oh, she's been in that. Or
Right.
it's cool, isn't it?
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
a, like a fun little like where's Waldo kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh,
exactly.
wait, is that who I think it is? And then you have
Yeah.
to go back and watch it and like zoom in, like
Yeah. I
And
mean,
you're
I think
like,
one of my
oh yeah.
favorite ones.
yeah.
One of
Those
my
are
favorite ones is the You Think
yeah.
You're Tough video, and you got like Ozzy Osbourne appearing in it, and like then you got Nicky in it, and you got Colin Appice from it.
Hmm.
It's awesome.
Like I was watching, I want to say it was Rat, You Think You're Tough, right? And I saw Ozzy in it. And I'm like, wait, what? Like I didn't know Ozzy was in a Rat video. And then you see
Yeah.
Tommy and
Exactly. He
Nikki
show
too. And
up.
I'm like, holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. That's a great song. That I love that song. That's my
Yeah.
favorite rap song.
Yeah, it's a great Rat song. But going back to the camaraderie thing, what I love that I've been seeing more in the scene, like in the last couple of months, is these independent artists starting up their own festivals and bringing all their friends onto it. Because I know Sleazy Sweet did one in Poland, the
Mm.
Sleazy Fest. So they had all the
Yeah.
Polish glam bands in it, which I loved. And then of course
Yeah.
the New York Glam Fest, and now the East Coast Sleaze Fest happening in
Yeah.
Brooklyn again. And I just think that's a great thing. And I was talking about this with a friend. I think it's because no venues want all these small unknown bands, you know? So it's our way
Yeah,
of getting out there and like promoting ourselves and bringing our friends along with us.
yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think what's so nice again about like the glam genre, sleaze genre, is it because it is such a unique scene, especially even back in the 80s, where everyone it was just a scene, wasn't it? You compare that with like indie or something over here, it's very much like all over the place. Same with
Hmm.
metal as well, because there's so many genres of like subgenres of metal now. Whereas the glam, it's just one united kind of thing. And I
Hmm.
think that it just works so well, and it's nice. It's nice going to a lot of the gigs as well. Like I'll go to like a Mike Tramp gig in
Hmm.
London. Artem will be there, and other people in the scene will turn up, and you'll just hang out with each other. It's so
Hmm.
nice. It's
It
really
is.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So speaking of your friendship with Artem, how exactly did that come about? What was it, just a sort of thing of you guys met like actually in person at a show, or was it you guys met, contacted over Instagram, and you're like, hey, we're both from the same area. That's cool.
Do you know what? It was funny because I mean, at that time, so when Bang was starting to do like a lot of their TikToks, I think I just left Roxy Red, and I was doing like a lot of just solo kind of TikToks, just doing covers. And that's how I discovered Vane Wild on there. And then we just followed each other, chatted for a little bit, and then I remember like seeing their show pop up online because I'd given them a follow at this point, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to turn up there. I'm not going to tell them. I'm just going to rock off, see if they like recognise it and everything. And I turned up there, and literally just all through the door, this dive, bless them, that they were playing at is in London. Um, Literally, they get to the bar and like the lights really dim, and I see Artem just like following Tizzy at some point. Oh, that's George. I think that's George. Literally, Artem comes straight over and goes, "Oh my god, man! Like you actually come to our gig?" I was like, "Yeah." And then yeah, watched their set, and it was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. And then we just all hung out and had drinks afterwards, and yeah, we became really good friends from there on. Really, it's just
I
That's
love that.
yeah,
great.
really nice. Yeah, and it was great. It was just because it's not often you get to see a lot of the underground glam bands play here. Really, it's more like either the American bands that come over, or you got your tribute stuff as well. But
Hmm.
it's actually nice to see like an originals glam band, playing stuff, their own stuff, and then covering like "When the Children Cry" by White Lion.
Yeah.
You just think you don't see that often. So
You don't.
yeah, it was a really fun night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, we
I
just
just
speak
love
on and
the
off,
idea
you
of
know.
Artem being like, yo, look who it is.
Yeah.
Look,
Yeah. Artem's just fanboying a little bit in the corner and it's like, all right, I
we
gotta lock
know
in. I
that
gotta lock
guy.
in.
Yeah. We're just massive glam nerds. We just chatted for hours just
Yeah.
about bands and like being absolute nerds just about the music and stuff. It's brilliant. It's
Yeah.
just brilliant. I think at the time it was when they were still. I think they still didn't have like a full time drummer. I can't remember if they even had a drummer for that gig, but
They probably
yeah,
didn't.
they didn't have
Roxy probably filled in. Not this Roxy, the blow up doll Roxy.
like.
That that scares me that their blow up doll is the exact same name as me. I'm terrified by this revelation.
But
I did
you
not
know,
need to be aware of this.
I don't think they named it after you. I just think it's a
No, I'm
kind of
not saying they
common.
did. I'm just saying that now I'm like, I feel kind of gross.
Are you gonna ask Artem now? You're gonna DM him and be like, "Did you really name your blow up doll after
No,
me?"
I'm not going to because that's stupid.
Oh
It's
my
an
God.
idiotic question.
All right, all right. Well, we're just gonna end this conversation before it gets weird. All right.
Yes.
All right, all right, all right. So what were your key inspirations for your sound and style, based off the glam scene?
So this time around, I wanted to do something a little bit more. So I'm obviously massively into glam. I love 80s. That'll always been my primary genre. But I was also brought up on a lot of like 70s rock as well.
Hmm.
Like so when I first got into this kind of music, I was listening to like a lot of Thin Lizzy. I love Deep Purple, those kind of things. But I really like bands like UFO, and I even like some of the glam rock stuff from the UK, like like the Sweet,
Hmm.
and the American stuff like early Alice Cooper, that kind of thing. So I kind of want to like incorporate that as well into our stuff because that is the kind of music that those bands would have been influenced by in the 80s.
Hmm.
So I think that will give us a bit more of like a rawer kind of like sound, especially when we're live, because we're all like sort of influenced by both 80s and 70s stuff. So that's the kind of, but then obviously, you've got like stuff like, I'm always going to be a massive Motley Crue fan. I'm not a fan of what they are now, but I'm a massive fan of like their 80s stuff.
Yeah.
Before they got rid of Mick Mars. But then I also love like Dokken's great, you know. I do like that polished kind of sound as well that Dokken do, and I really like Rat, Wasp, you know. Cinderella's a massive favourite as well, massively into Tom Kiefer. But then I really like bands like Striper as well. I love Michael Sweet and like his style with playing and melodic like writing, that kind of thing. So it's sort of like trying to find that balance of like doing a melodic, polished sound, but then having the raw elements in it as well. If you get it. So yeah, so that's like the kind of thing we're into. But then I also really like some of the modern bands as well. Like I really like, you know, Reckless Love, Santa Cruz, Shiraz Lane. They're like big heroes to me when I was like a teenager. And then yeah, I mean, one of the bands I really love at the most, Wanted. I can't stop listening to Wanted.
Oh, Wanted is great. Me and Roxy got to meet them at Glam Fest, and unfortunately, I didn't get to watch much of their set because we were running around doing interviews.
Yeah.
But from what I caught, they were absolutely fantastic live, and their crowd was jumping. Like I've never seen such a lively crowd before.
Yeah, they write great songs, don't they? And I was chatting to Alan, the guitar player, the other day, because I was like, "You must have done that on reel to reel. That has got to be a reel to reel like analog recording. It can't be digital." And like, yeah, it was. And I was like, whoa, I've got to, and he was really cool. He was like telling me like all the producer and stuff and that. And yeah, really, really nice guy. And I was just, but they were like one of the bands I've put on and I've gone, whoa, this sounds like something from 1984. Like it is really like authentic to that sound. And I think they're the band that captures it the most out of all the others. Don't get me wrong, some great bands, but I think Wanted really, for their production, even their artwork as well, it's just, it's brilliant.
It is. Yeah, they really put the effort in to make everything look as like retro as possible, and I love that for them. Like they really lean into that like classic 80s metal look, and I think it's amazing because sound is important. It's really important. That's like the most important part of a band. But your look and the way that you like present yourself is also important because if someone sees that you're taking the time to do your research and making your albums look like something that would have been on the shelf in 84, people are going to listen to it.
People love it. Yeah, they like that nostalgia kind of trip as well. And I think a lot of, you know, younger people as well are looking for that kind of, you know, looking for that kind of thing. But yeah, so I'd say Wanted are it's one of my inspirations, I'd say, in the last couple of years, massively. I mean, Benji, our bass player, he really likes like Hanoi Rocks, New York Dolls, that kind of thing, and Motorhead, and like Guns N' Roses. So we're always going to have that kind of element about us as well, that, you know, like that danger kind of sound to it. You know, a little bit of punk in there, maybe like British punk. And then I'd say Mikey. Mikey is a massive Queensryche fan. Like he loves like Jeff Tate. I suppose he's got like a really high vocal, but then he really likes like Joey Tempest and stuff like Jolene Turner, like Ving Ray Malmsteen. So probably more the melodic stuff. And Thomas loves anything like hard rocking, really, like Led Zeppelin. So we've all got these influences in our sort of sound, but it's definitely going to be that interesting mix of like, 1 minute we'll probably write something a bit more heavy, leaning towards like Priest, maybe, you know, like Dokken, that kind of heavy metal kind of sound, and then we might do another song that's probably gonna be a little bit more Hanoi Rocks kind of influence because we just love it all. It's they've all got their perks really, like different genres.
What album do you think that of Hanoi Rocks do you think you guys would try to emulate the most? This isn't like an actual question. This is like a genuine interest.
The thing is, I really like Saigon Shakes, the first one, because it just reminds me of like, and I'm not really a massive punk person or even like new wave kind of stuff, but it has elements of that in it. And then it kind of got me, once I listened to that album, I kind of started listening to bands like the Smiths, you know, because it's that kind of guitar kind of sound. And I thought that was really cool. And then you look at the band and you go, hold on a minute, they don't sound like how you think it sound. And it's
that's an interesting pipeline. Hanoi Rocks to the Smiths.
Yeah, it's like you don't expect Michael Monroe's voice when you first hear it to sound like a British punk kind of vocal. You expect it's going to be blonde-haired lead singer. He's going to have a higher, you know, especially when you're first getting into this genre. You think it's going to be like a high pitch kind of like voice he's going to have. Yeah. No, I was like, whoa, this guy sounds like he's from like Camden Town. You know, he's from Finland. But so that one, and I've really gotten into what's the Self-Destruction Blues? I really like that album as well.
I
Yeah.
love that album. That is one of my favorites.
That
It's
was the
so
one
Yeah.
Malibu Beach Nightmare was on, right?
Back to Mystery City. That's a great album as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
I promise I
Yeah.
know my stuff, but
the one Self-Destruction
I'd
Blues has Whispers in the Dark on it and A
okay.
Beer and a Cigarette.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I like Nothing New. That's got a nice like kind
Ooh,
of jangle to it. I really like that.
that's a good one.
And I really like Ice Cream Summer off the
Mhm.
you know, the one with what I just said, right, it's now gone out of my head. I think my least favourite one's Oriental Beat. That's my least favourite out of their classic ones. But
Yeah.
they're all really good. They're all
I mean,
great.
I think the song Oriental Beat's pretty good, but it's definitely not
Yeah.
the best Hanoi Rock song. Like, it's better
yeah.
live. Like, when I heard them play it live, I was like, yep, this is...
Yeah. And what's the other one? I really like Fallen Star as well. That's quite a dark song.
That's a
And it makes you think
great
about
song.
Russell. It really gives you that kind of, it's almost like foreshadowing it, isn't it? Like with the accident with Razzle and that. You listen to the lyrics and it's like, yeah, it's quite dark. And I heard that on that Peacemaker album, you know, and I thought, what the hell is this? This is really dark. And I was like, oh my God, it's Hanoi Rocks. And just wouldn't expect it from them, that kind of thing. But yeah, great band. And you ever go to Finland, they're like the Rolling Stones to them out there as well. They just, you know, Andy McCoy and Michael Morale, like Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, the Finns, you know, they love it.
I mean, I gotta say, I'm so glad that Hanoi Rocks is getting their props now, even if it took like 30, 40 years. I'm glad that people are finally realizing, holy shit, Hanoi Rocks is like one of the best bands out there.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. I saw Michael Monroe, I think it was early last year at the Electric Ballroom in London, and it was incredible. Like, the guy is like 62, 63 years old, and he's climbing up the stage and jumping off still. I won't be able to do
Feel to live
that.
my dream. How's it feel? I'm so angry. He was supposed to come to Florida and he canceled the show because he got injured. Like literally a month before the show. And I was so pissed because I bought VIP tickets for that shit too.
She was gonna meet Michael Monroe and everything, and poor girl.
Yeah, he's great. Like, you can just so tell he really enjoys what he does. And it was really cool because they had Sammy Yaffa on bass as well. So you sort of had, you know, a little bit of the old vibe up there. He was great. He's such a nice guy as well. He was just so grateful people were there to see him and that. And it's cool as well because I hadn't really heard like a lot of his solo stuff. Because he did quite a bit of that as well. And I was like, that made me want to go and listen to some of his solo records. But yeah, really good show.
His solo stuff is real good.
Yeah, all the Hanoi Rocks band like did a fantastic job on their solo stuff. Have you heard of the Cherry Bombs? It's the band that Nasty and Andy did after Hanoi Rocks.
I haven't actually listened to it. I've heard of it.
House of Ecstasy is like one of my favorite songs. Like,
really
fantastic song.
Yeah, I'll have to listen. Yeah, because
I didn't even know they had a band. So
yeah. I didn't know either until I'm watching the video and I'm like, wait, that's Andy and Nasty.
Nasty Suicide. Yeah, God, he's cool.
He's cool. It's a cool name too.
Yeah, the funny thing is now, I think he's like completely retired now. I think he's just like
he works as like a pharmaceutical. Like, he works in a pharmaceutical. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, God, imagine living that life.
Yeah, he's a pharmacist now.
I don't trust that man around around illegalized substances. I don't trust that at all.
Yeah.
It's like, where's my prescription? You know, and he's in the corner, he's snorting it.
Hey, where's my script for Adderall? I had about 150 pills and there's only 120 in the bottle.
Don't worry about it. None of your business.
Oh no. Don't ask me.
It's crazy because I think I read an interview somewhere with Michael Monroe and he said that the peak of their like alcoholism, that band, like I think Nasty Suicide was notorious for like when he'd run out of alcohol, he'd go to like hand sanitizer and stuff and he'd try and like ethanol and you think, God, like it's a miracle that guy's still alive and that's true. Like
I think it's a miracle that any 80s rock star is still alive, you know. I've heard all the stories and I'm like, did you just like pickle yourself? Is that how you're alive? You drink so much alcohol, you just pickled yourself from the inside out?
That's how I feel about Billy Idol.
Yeah, that's what Billy Idol did.
The thing is, it's like, go on. Sorry, Roxy, what were you going to say?
I said because I heard him say a story, like I saw a news article about a while ago where he said the only way he was able to quit cocaine was by doing heroin. And he said, yeah, this method won't work for everyone. Ben, it shouldn't have fucking worked for you.
It shouldn't have. Wow.
What
Wow.
do you mean
Yeah, that's a
that
new
was your
thing.
method?
Yeah.
Not
Holy
sure I'd
shit.
try that. Yeah. Oh, that sounds good. It's
Mm-mm.
like but I mean, I've met people before, like the Motley Crue thing, for example. Because don't get me wrong, I believe a lot of these people were doing all this stuff, 100%. But it does make you think sometimes, especially like Motley Crue, like whether could you really do that every night for like years and years and years? Because I've met people at gigs that saw Motley Crue and hung out with them, like after their gigs when they toured over in the 80s. I said to them, were any of them absolutely hammered or drunk or on drugs? And they're like, no, they were completely sober. You just think like, I get it, like they definitely dabbled in stuff for sure, but like when they were doing that every night at a hardcore level, I
I
don't know if you
think
could do that. Like,
they went on like benders, and then I'm sure they had to have like a couple of nights to recover, and
yeah,
try to
you
be a
would,
normal
yeah,
human being, and then they would go on another bender.
yeah,
They couldn't be
yeah,
like Slash and just do heroin all the time and then fuck up their hearts. They couldn't do that. I think
Or
he's the one person I could be like, yeah, you definitely did drugs.
oh god. I mean, I was reading
honestly,
his. You go on.
I was gonna say I'm still surprised that the Guns N' Roses members are alive because I think
Yeah,
three of them, like Steven had a stroke, Duff's pancreas nearly exploded on him, and then Slash with his heart problems. And I'm like, holy shit! Like,
And it's a miracle the only one that wasn't actually addicted to drugs was Axel, which is
yeah,
insane to say. He was the only one. He did stuff. He just wasn't addicted. He was like, nah,
yeah,
that's cool.
that's crazy that you have that. Like, some people have that gene where they can do the stuff and then they're fine. And then there's
yeah,
other people that they have the gene and they do it like even just one time and they're
yeah,
completely addicted. It's just
yeah,
it's not to nerd out, but it's just a weird thing about the human biology and stuff.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
strange how it works, isn't it? It's
Hmm.
my motto has always been just don't try any of it. 'Cause it's not going to end well. You're gonna have to give if you did start, you have to give it up at any point. So I've
That
never
It's
touched
not
any of
worth
that. Never.
it.
that's my
I
thought
mean,
process too. I'll drink a little bit, but I'm not gonna
yeah,
like, do drugs or anything. Because first of all, I don't want to die.
yeah,
I'm too young for that.
yeah,
That's a
And
great
second of all,
start.
I want to remember the concerts that I go to and the people that I meet and my experiences.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that I've always my focus has always been you got to be a good musician. You got to be able to play guitar to the best of your ability. Especially you got people paying to come and see you. You've really got
Mhm.
to be. It's an insult if you're drunk on stage and that. I think when people have paid to come and see you play. So for me, I always I'll maybe have like one beer or something maybe before I go on stage. Not even that. Because most of the time it's too hot up on the stage anyway.
Mhm.
Um, Afterwards, I'll have like a couple of beers, and if it's like a hometown show, I might go out afterwards and have a few drinks. But it will always be after the gig. It's never
Right,
like
right.
before the gig. And yeah, certainly never. I've never ever touched drugs in my life. Never. It's just
Yeah.
never appealed to me.
Yeah.
I get put off from hearing all these horror stories about all these bands and stuff like Stephen Adler. It
Mhm.
never ends well, does it? It's
Even with
Robin Cross.
Tammy Down, like I heard like what happened with him, and I'm like, first of all, I'm surprised it took that long for anything to happen, because I think it was 2016 that he had that heart failure thing go on.
Oh really?
Yeah, so that was like I'm trying to do the math, like 36 years or something, or 30 years, and I'm like, holy shit.
It took that
Yeah,
long.
it's mad. Yeah, because I mean, even like Stephen Pearcy, I read it in his book. He got addicted to drugs like in the late 90s, early 2000s. You'd think he'd have been addicted in the 80s, but he got into heroin
I
in the early 2000s sort of time.
Yeah,
Which
I
makes
think
He
that's
sense.
the
really
same with
went
like
for it.
Tammy Down. Like it was more the 2000s, which was
Yeah,
surprising because again, he was like co-owner of the Cat House, like one of the most notorious rock and roll clubs of the 80s. And no, he
yeah,
didn't get a cocaine addiction until 2000, like late 90s. It's like, okay, good for you, I guess. You do
I've
you.
always been discouraged from trying drugs strictly from one singular thing that I heard, which was whenever Steven Tyler and Joe Perry were
Hmm.
listening to a song on the radio, and Steven was like, "Oh, this is so great. We should cover this song." And
Hmm.
Joe looks at him, just slowly turns to him and goes, "That's us." Dude, you're fucking stupid. We recorded that. That's us. And he's
Hmm.
like, huh?
Mhm.
Oh my God,
I
that's
don't
terrible.
remember ever doing that. He
Yeah,
was so high, he never remembered recording that song.
that's
And that's
crazy.
a fear of mine. I'm like,
Yeah.
I could never do drugs out of fear of just forgetting everything.
So two things for me, right? So first of all, I have a long family of nurses in my family. So they tell me horror stories and I'm like, hey, no. And second of all, believe it or not, musician friends telling me their stories or friends of their stories, and I'm like, holy shit, that
Yeah,
scared me straight.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a family history of addiction, so I wouldn't do
Mhm.
it.
It's just I think after watching the Rap VHS one behind the music, God, I sound like such a nerd. But like seeing like Robin Crosby's horror story on that was like, yeah, that doesn't sound
Yeah,
nice.
right.
That's sad. You know, you can go from being on top of the world to just literally just falling, you know, in a few years.
Hmm.
All
Like
because of
CC DeVille.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
you
just
see the
like
billion.
funny that you think watching all this stuff, it would be like, oh, that's so cool. I want to be exactly like them in party. And that does happen. But on the flip side, there's some people that watch it and it's like, uh, I love this music. I want to be part of this life, but I'm not touching drugs at all.
No,
You
I
know?
don't know how anybody could watch any of those horror stories and go, "Oh, that seems so fucking awesome. I'd
Well, I
love
mean,
to
like
do
people watch The
that."
Dirt, and it's like, oh my God, I want to be just like Motley Crue. Um,
Well, they're also like teenagers and dumb. So
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah.
They don't have developed frontal
Well,
lobes. Of course they're
first of
watching
all, no
Tommy Lee
teenager should
doing.
be watching The Dirt or reading The Dirt. I'm just saying
No,
that.
they shouldn't. They
Oh,
shouldn't be, but they are, you
they
know.
are. They
It's just
are.
fact of life.
It's a fact of life, It's like your parents tell you not to, and then you do. It's, you know how
yeah.
it goes.
I think I got a copy of the book on my 17th birthday. I took it into school. I was
Mhm.
like reading it all out to everyone. I'm like, this is so cool. And then you just, you know, again, you grow up and you just realize, no, that's actually
Right,
not cool. It's not.
right, right. Yeah. But it's like, okay, not to sound cocky, but it's like I feel like those books get boring when you start living that life, if that makes sense. Like you
Yeah,
start going to these shows, you start hanging out with people, and then you're reading the books, and it's like, okay, this is cool, but this is also an average Monday for me. So,
yeah, yeah. It's like, I think it gets to the stage as well where it just all becomes a blur to them as well. And like, I think like CC DeVille said, like, you know, you reach that level of success and that's it. You know, what else is there to fill it with? So you find something else like drugs to fill that void because you've achieved everything you've ever
mhm,
wanted to achieve. Your dreams
yeah.
have come
Yeah.
true. So
And you
what's
start to
next? Oh,
plateau and then you start to go down.
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Also, when you're 20 years old with like $2 million, you're gonna spend it
Oh,
on stupid
dangerous.
shit.
You have bad financial decisions.
Like no
It's not,
20-year-old should immediately like overnight come into contact with $20 million or something like that. Because that's
Like
not
Tommy
gonna end well.
Lee.
yeah, it sounds
I'm
like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Yeah,
Like Tommy Lee getting into contact with like what was it, like $1 million? Maybe it's only like 19.
it's
hmm
Like,
insane.
dude, no wonder you ended up the way you did.
Right,
Yeah,
If
right.
I was
exactly.
given $1 million at my age right now, you best fucking believe I'd be buying dumb shit.
Oh, I'm not. Okay, I mean, granted, I would spend that money on like clothes and stuff, but I also put some in a savings account, like.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, of course you'd put some in the savings account, but then you'd also go and then go buy a giant bonsai tree to put in your front yard with a 10-foot skeleton from IKEA.
Mhm.
Okay, like you've got to have the essentials.
You do, you do, you do.
I'll just buy a little house over here, just a little house, and you wouldn't have to worry because probably people buy all these massive mansions, don't they? They had all that money, and it's like that means you just gotta. It's you know costs so much money to keep it up every month. It means you got to do more housework as well. You know,
Yeah, you just buy
I love a little
yourself a nice house.
Yeah, I would
yeah,
buy myself like a nice penthouse in like the heart of Los Angeles and then
yeah,
spend the rest of the money on things I want.
yeah. Sounds
Well,
good.
actually, I would give a majority of that to charity because at some point you just have so much money that you don't know what to do with it, and it's just sitting there. So,
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. I
You're
definitely have
sitting
a.
there and you're like, a lot of things I want to buy aren't legal. I can't be doing this. I need to give this away.
oh my God,
I'm
I'll
having
just,
negative thoughts.
I can tell.
I'll just end up going on massive guitar buying spree. I mean, look at these two. Look like two there, sat there, just
Hmm.
get more of them. Yeah.
Okay. Getting back on topic, we got way off topic.
Yeah.
So, as you said earlier, you were previously in the band Roxy Red. How do you feel that playing in a previous band shaped your own personal style of playing and how you take being in a band, with such differing personalities? It can be difficult. So,
Mm.
I assume that being in a previous band makes it a bit easier, I guess, to navigate that.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, The thing is, like when we were with Roxy Red, it was very much we gigged a lot. Like we did a lot of shows, and it was almost from like day one really. Our first show was at a club down the road. I think they played there recently. It was at Chinnery's in Southend, and that was with Guns to Roses tribute band. They're brilliant guys, and they gave us a lot of shows. And to this day, I'm so grateful to them for giving us because they put us in front of these big audiences, and we built the audience up that way. So, I mean, the second gig we ever did was like an O2 Academy, which is over here is quite a big venue, and it was like I remember going there and being like, "Oh my god!" Like we get our own dressing room. I'm not used to that. We were used to playing, in other bands, playing in these little dives where you barely get any space. You just turn up. You don't even get checked. You just turn up and play. Because it was like you got your own little road crew helping you, like lift your amps into the lifts. And I was like, what the hell? I remember going up on the stage and thinking, oh my god, like this is scary. And it was even more crazy when we played up north to all these massive, 400 capacity shows. Some of them, like 300 people being there, and you'd just be like, oh my god. So it, definitely gave me a lot of good live experience. Something I do want to get Hayday, on. I think at the moment where Hayday we're really building up from scratch, and we're going, because with Roxy Red it was mainly at that time period it was pretty much all covers at that point. We had like one original song, it was "Give Me More," and that was in its infancy when we were doing those big shows like that. But with Hayday it's all originals, and we're doing like a couple of covers, so it's a lot harder trying to get on the original circuit here. We will be playing to small venues for now, because that is just what we're at, and we will be on some bills with different kinds of bands, but that is just part of being on the original circuit. So but at least I can take that experience with Roxy Red and channel it into that. And it gave me like good recording experience as well. I met Richard, and he now produces our stuff. Met a lot of great contacts, and you said about the different personalities as well. Like it just, again, it's all an experience of dealing with different types of people. I mean, in Hayday we're a lot more like chill. We don't really want to. We like partying and stuff, but we're not going crazy.
Right. You're not going Motley Crue level.
Yeah, no. I mean, we're not going Motley Crue, but I think as well because we've all had all band members have been in quite a few bands before as well, so we've all got that sort of experience. So yeah, and you meet. I've met so many cool people from my years of Roxy Red as well, like fans at gigs, and sometimes they'll come and see me at the Motley Crue tribute shows as well. I go, "You were in Roxy Red, weren't you?" I was like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Seen you play at this venue," and you're like, "Whoa!" It's quite cool. I think that is definitely that's definitely helped me as well, and it's helped my guitar playing as well. Like having that, being forced into playing so many shows so quickly, you have to get to a fairly good standard of playing.
Right.
And it helped me shape like my guitar tone as well. So yeah, that's what's it was all great experience for me really. And you learn the do's and don'ts. Oh, like what lessons you learned, what you do again, what you wouldn't do again, and yeah, it's all good.
I mean, I definitely
the energy of him being excited about having a dressing room instantly reminds me of the energy of the Midnight Devils telling us how excited they would be if they got a hotel room with 3 separate beds. It's literally that exact same energy where it's like, oh my god, we have our own beds.
Yeah,
it's the small things.
It is, yeah. I mean, I was hanging out with them at the Sleaze Festival 2024 when Roxy were on it, and I remember their drummer Jimmy. Is it Jimmy? Is that his name?
Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, Jimmy. We love him.
Jimmy. He's a character.
Yeah.
I was literally like sitting up on this balcony watching like another band set, and Jimmy just comes off and just sits next to me. I'm like, "Hi, I'm George." He just chatting about like 70s rock and stuff, and he's just sitting there just next to me, like in his full like dress up. We're just watching these bands, having a good chat for like a good hour. Brilliant. And I was hanging out with Spider as well, being the guitar nerds that we are, just chatting about guitars and they're really nice guys, really great. And I'm glad they're on the podcast next year. It's gonna be good.
So we met them at Glam Fest, and speaking of Jimmy, we have a funny story about him. So this is after Glam Fest. We were sticking around because we had an interview wanted, so we're just waiting. And Jimmy comes in, and he's like, he's clearly in his own world, and he's like, "You guys get all your interviews done?" And we're like, "Oh yeah," and just like he turns around and leaves.
He's like, "You guys," we're like midway through our answer. Yeah, walks off. And we're like, "Okay, great talk."
Great talk, buddy. We love you too.
Literally in our interview, I look over, I smell something. I'm like, God, what do I smell? I look over. He's taking a hit of the fattest fucking joint
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
ever seen in my life. And he turns, he looks at Sam, who's currently answering a question, just hands it to him, and is like, You want a hit? He takes a giant puff, hands it back to him, and is like,
yeah.
Thanks, dude.
I got like a secondhand high from just standing next to the Midnight
Yeah,
Devil.
I was. It was crazy.
It's like I was joking with Roxy, you know the Midnight Devils have entered the room when the smell of weed is just everywhere.
It starts permeating like into the seats, and you're like, oh, I knew who was here,
Yeah.
and I know who's coming next.
Again, we love the Midnight Devils. They are fantastic guys.
Oh
We
yeah,
love them. Oh,
great. I love them.
hold on. I have another funny one, and I've told you this one, but I'm leaving Glam Fest, and my mom had dropped me off, and we're backing out, and Sniper had to direct my mom how to back out of like the parking lot, and it was just hilarious. I was like dying in the back. I'm like,
You know, that's so his age though.
it,
With like the age he is, he totally seems like the type of dude to like sit on the corner of a street going, "You're backing out wrong. Fix your stance.
yeah,
Turn your wheels a little bit more to the left. You're
yeah,
perfect. Come on."
good, yeah.
Their live show's great. It was like when I was watching them, it was really like this is what it must have been like watching a band at the Roxy
Hmm.
in the 80s. It just had that fun party vibe. And
Yeah,
it was
Oh
like,
yeah.
it was
I love it.
fantastic watching
Yeah.
them live. Like, I love when
Yeah,
they
it was
came
like
out in the
crazy.
middle of the crowd, and all of a sudden Sam Spade is like literally 2 feet in front of you, and you're like, I actually got hit in the face by his hair a little bit. I was like, hey, awesome, rock
And
and
it
roll.
was funny because we're short and we
Right.
actually like moved. They had moved like a box that was on the side to like like into the around the middle of the crowd, and no one else had gotten on it. So we just started standing on it so we
Mhm.
could see better.
That was doing Tyken's set because it was also a
No,
giant
no,
mosh
no,
pit.
no. During Tyken set, we were on the sidelines. Remember where the
Oh,
box
right.
was there on the sidelines? I remember during the Midnight Devil show, they moved it around to the middle area where we were, and we
Okay,
stood
yeah,
on it. Because that's how in the Midnight Devils video we were actually visible, was because we
yeah,
were standing on a box.
yeah. I sat on that box during Tyken's set, and my entire ass got wet, and I was like, that's just great.
Yeah, I didn't sit on it for that exact reason. I was like, I can see the water
I
permeating
was
on
just
that. I
thinking
am
that,
not sitting
I'm
on that.
wearing pleather pants, it's
It
waterproof
won't
enough.
go through.
And then I
That's
sat
not how
down and I'm
that works.
like, never mind.
I
I'm now
lied for
soaking
my
wet. All my makeup has been melted off by the rain. This is fantastic.
It's like here, whenever like I've got a gig or anything, I don't do this anymore. I used to drive to the hotel, check in, and then I'd do all my makeup and get all like my hair sorted. As soon as I walk outside the hotel, the wind just blows and it just like just
Hmm.
ruins it. And I was like, I'm not getting
ruins
ready.
everything.
It does.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's hard over here. The weather is just not. Me and Artem were saying this about like LA, like because I can imagine in LA it's a lot hotter than it is probably in the UK
Hmm.
right now. So we're thinking it must be at night. These bands are wearing all these outfits because there's no way I can walk around during the day in like full leathers,
Oh, they
just like
don't.
drowning. Yeah,
Yeah. Why else do you think everything in Los Angeles happens at night? It's too
yeah,
hot during the day, and
yeah,
the bands don't want to sweat their makeup off. Like, because you take
yeah,
like an hour to put all your makeup on, and you don't want to walk out and be like, huh, my eyeliner's gone.
yeah.
No,
It's
I
like these
think
old.
they could benefit from setting spray. That would
They
really
could.
help.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Mm,
know how prominent setting spray was in the 80s.
I'm meaning nowadays. They
Nowadays,
have
yeah,
full access to that and they just don't use it.
they don't. They don't. And that's
Like
a
I
them
can walk
problem,
outside
not
in
our
Florida
problem.
humidity and this will not melt off. My hair, different story. It will go flat within like 30 minutes if I tease it. It's
Mm.
not staying up. That's why I just gave up on teasing my hair.
Yeah, I had to
yeah,
make sure my hair is like crunchy to make sure that it stays where it needs to stay.
yeah. I only wear like hairspray on stage most of the time, but it's just the fact afterwards. I hate the feeling of it. Like when you wake up the next day and it's just in your
Hmm.
hair. It's
Hmm.
like
Yeah, and
Gross.
even after you shower, it's still in your hair, and you're like, "Oh, this is
yeah,
great."
yeah,
Somehow you're
yeah.
still feeling it. You run your fingers through and you're like, God, I feel disgusting.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm eating breakfast the next day at the hotel and I just look like an absolute mess. My eyeliner's still a little bit on. I just
yeah,
look,
right. Even after you like use the makeup wipes and you wash your face, there's just a
yeah,
little bit of eyeliner that you cannot get
yeah,
off. Yeah.
And you
Exactly.
see
Yeah.
people looking at you and you're like, this is how the Joker feels in Gotham City.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's just
Yeah.
getting stared at.
Yeah. I
I've,
gotta say,
I've,
like waking up at a hotel and going downstairs for breakfast is a humiliation ritual, and you
Yes,
cannot change my mind.
it is. It absolutely is.
Because what do you think? You think I'm gonna get completely dressed and ready for the day just to go downstairs to go get breakfast? No.
Fuck no.
I literally just wake up after a gig. I'll literally just do that with my hair. And I'll just go down. I don't give a shit what I look like, but I'm just gonna just hide in a corner somewhere and
Mhm.
even
I
when I
had
turn
like
up on a Monday, I'll still have a tiny little bit of eyeliner, and like they'll be like, "You've been gigging, haven't you, on the weekend?" I was like, "Yeah."
yeah, guilty.
Good.
All right, all
That
right.
might be me.
Yeah. All right, so I got a little question. So, with such an influx of AI content and streaming services, what are your thoughts on this, and how do you believe we can keep AI out of music?
Yeah. So AI, right? So I don't like it in music at all. I don't
Hmm.
think, I think music should always be, authentic and someone's actually playing it. Um, don't get me wrong, I understand people don't always have the budgets for stuff now. Because I know, like, Rudy Zaza, he did a track recently and he had like an AI drummer on it. So you just think, okay, that's what you wanted, fair play. But I just, for me, if I was ever, I'd never ever want to use AI in my music at all. I'd always,
Hmm.
I wouldn't even want to use it, like, so you get people that use drum machines and stuff, or they'll try and play the drums themselves or whatever. I would always make sure I can get a really good drummer in to
Hmm.
play there. Because that is, for me, on any track, the drums is the most important thing you got to get down. Because if you've got terrible sounding drums, it's just going to look so weird. But yeah,
Yeah.
with the AI thing, I don't think it's really like a. I don't think it really has a place in music at all. I don't really. Maybe again because I've got mixed feelings on this with like the whole. There's a lot of things going on about bands using posters, using like AI to do that, and I get it. Again, you don't have the money for it, but you'd at least try and find some artists that can do that because what I mean. I'd rather get someone who's a talented artist to do the poster for a gig, but sometimes you can't, or you don't always have that option available. So with that, but then the problem is you can tell it's AI, can't you nowadays? With
Hmm.
stuff it is
Yeah.
very
Oh, it's like
like
painfully obvious.
it is painfully
Yeah.
obvious. Yeah,
So
yeah,
And
obvious.
so my opinion about the flyer thing is you can use Canva for free, and I'd rather someone make a shitty 5 minute,
Photoshop,
yeah,
man.
Photoshop thing than use
yeah,
AI. Because like, okay, yeah, we get that you're an independent band and you don't have the funds, but we can see that you at least made an effort, and that's what matters,
yeah,
in my opinion.
yeah,
And
definitely.
the funny thing, at least in my opinion, is there's a lot of like 80s and 90s rockers that are using AI in their stuff and not the new wave. Because I feel like at least in our scene, if you got caught using AI for things, you're losing your followers. Like you're gonna get
Yeah,
crucified, you know.
yeah. There's definitely a boycott of it at the moment, and well, I don't know if it's why people should boycott band because they're using like for a flyer they're using AI, but for music it is. I would you'd lose all credibility. I
Oh,
think with that.
absolutely.
And it's like, I
I'm not,
understand using AI for posters for your small band, but I don't understand like these large, clearly very wealthy bands using AI to make cover art or flyer art,
yeah,
where I'm like, you guys literally have millions of dollars. You can afford a semi-decent artist, and you're just choosing to be lazy.
Mhm.
yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's yeah. I'm definitely against AI being used in music.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people that have written tracks and used tracks who aren't even musicians just to see what he can do, and it is actually frightening. Some of it is just like I go write a song based on like in the style of Brian Adams or something, and it will do it. You can take
Mhm.
Brian Adams' voice, and it's just terrifying. And you just think,
Yeah.
Scary.
It's
like,
like I feel
if
like
that fell into
AI
the
music
wrong
is sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just making a point of if it fell into the wrong hands of any musician, it's terrible, isn't it? Like,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah. I mean, like technically I could use AI and electric player if I really wanted to, right? But it's like I'd rather be like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, I have to delay the issue because I just don't have time to put out a quality product than go put it through ChatGPT and have it do it for me. Because what I
yeah,
can do with my limited skills is going to look a million times better than what
yeah,
ChatGPT can shit out,
yeah.
you know?
It's because you actually
Yeah.
care about it as well. Like you're actually spending all that time trying to make it look good, and you're
Hmm.
make it the best you can do it. Whereas if you do AI, it's just like, oh, I just didn't even,
Hmm.
it's too easy, isn't it? But it's, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like that poster probably the other day about us releasing the track Breakout. That was all Photoshop. I literally used PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint, just to put that font over it because I'm not, I can't create flies. Benji's normally the guy that does my flies because he can use like Photoshop at work and stuff. But for me, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I've got Canva. I'm new to Canva. I'm starting to learn how to use Canva a bit. But I was like, I'm just use PowerPoint and just put some text over it in a cool font, blend it in. Find like a little logo of the Spotify and the Apple Music that's been cropped out, and you can just put that on there.
Exactly.
It's all right.
Right?
It's not the best, but it does the job.
It does. It
You know?
does.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting seeing where this AI stuff goes because I've heard like Spotify are cracking down on it more now. I've heard like a lot of people they're going to try and put in laws to kind of boycott it for music. I've seen a lot of petitions going around for it. So it'd be really interesting to see where the thing I hate the most about AI. I don't know you guys see this on like your feeds. I hate it now where you see bands from the 80s and it's someone puts it up and it's always an AI picture. It's never like an actual picture of the band. It's like a terrible AI of like the band sitting like it's supposed to look like it's from the 80s, but you can tell it's not from the 80s. It's like what happened to just going on Google Images and getting a picture of a band?
Well, people are lazy. I'm sorry, they are. Or those
I
like
literally saw that a few days ago where it was a picture of John Bon Jovi, but it wasn't actually John Bon Jovi. I was looking at it, I was like, that is not John Bon Jovi. That's Jordan Bon Jovi. That is not him. Who is that man?
Yeah. I mean, I do hope there are laws on AI being passed soon because in reality, I'm speaking this on like a legal term. You're ripping off every single artist because AI, it scours the internet, it takes songs, it takes artwork, it takes books and makes it into something. So it's just an amalgamation of like a bunch of different things. And that is not legal because the main artist is not getting paid, they're not getting credited for it,
Yeah. It's just
dangerous.
Especially
if it's copyrighted stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just dangerous though, isn't it? You could literally create an image of someone you really hated and you could trust them because
you could.
And that's terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's the thought of that. I completely agree. There should be like a legal thing in place for it. It's I mean, it's like with you type on Google now, it always comes with the AI thing. That kind of thing. I always treat that like how Google used to be. You just type in a question and Google will find you an answer anyway. You'll go through a load of things. Where that's just pulled through just a quicker alternative to it. But again, you still wouldn't trust it because it's pulling so many sources.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
it's like you use it for your general research and then you dive deeper yourself by looking for actual articles and stuff. Basic research skills that you develop in school, by the way,
Yeah, exactly.
One of my favorite Google AI flops was like a screenshot where it was like, what age was Mick Mars whenever they released the Girls albums or something? And it was like, Mick Mars, the guitarist of Motley Crue, was approximately 7,000 years old during the recording of Girls.
Oh my God. It's like stuff like that you're like, that's not true.
I'm looking at that and I'm like, wow, he looked good for 7,000 years old. Good on you, Mick.
Good on you, Mick.
We found the secret to immortality, guys.
Yep. If anyone, it's Mick Mars.
It's Mick Mars.
All right, Roxxi, are you ready to move on to our unserious questions now?
I am. We finally are on to our unserious questions. I will start. If you had to describe what it's like being in a band in one sentence, what will it be?
I'd say it's like a roller coaster. It really is. Like you'll have some good days where stuff just flows nicely, and you'll have bad days where it just goes down. And, you might get cancelled. I mean, my tribute band, the Motley Crue one, we had our drummer bail on us because bless him, he had like a personal problem, had to drop out of a gig. 48 hours we had to try and find a drummer to learn all these Motley Crue songs. And we managed to find one at the end, so the gig still went ahead. But stuff like that, I just think, oh my God, like, is it worth the stress sometimes? You just have that, like, oh my God. But, you just got to always tell yourself it's going to work out. It's always going to work out. Yeah, that's how I describe a band. It's literally like, roller coaster, different emotions. You have good days, you have bad days. When you're really at that top point, it feels great. You're playing a gig, you've got people singing your songs back to you. It feels amazing. And then you have like that the next day, maybe you're not playing anymore, and you just like, straight that down to reality. So
right.
That's how I'd describe a band. It's like being in a roller coaster. Sometimes it's a bit more crazy than others.
Hmm. Sometimes you wonder if it's gonna go off rails and kill you.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Who Guns N' Roses or Motley Crue? That's that kind of thing, and it's borderline like, oh my god, we're gonna crash and die here. But
Yeah.
We're done
hopefully,
for.
a Payday is a bit more stable.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
It's a newer roller coaster, so it's not made out of
Yeah,
wood.
yeah.
Not
Hopefully, we
yet.
can find its health and safety features going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So if you woke up tomorrow and that you were the head of a major record label, what would be the first thing that you would do?
Oh. It'd be so easy, wouldn't it? To say, oh, I'd drop all this pop stuff in the chart and that. But the thing is, you kind of need that to make your money to keep your label going. So what I would do, I'd hire a load of new talent scouts, and their job is to go and find the top 5 bands in your local city, and you scout them and you sign them and that kind of thing. And rather than because the problem with major labels now is, it's not like the old days where literally you'd get a band in and you'd work them. If their first album failed, you'd go, okay, that's fine. We'll just get you on tour with this person. That person will expand your audience, and you can do another album. And they'd work you. And then normally by your third album, you've either blown up or you failed and that's off you. Nowadays, it's like you sign to Sony Records or whoever it is, and it's like you've done your album, it hasn't done well, we're dropping you. We're not going to work you. So if I was in charge of a record label, I'd be getting talent scouts in to find the best bands in the scene that are playing live as well, most importantly, listening to the quality of their songs, and I'd then give them chances with the albums. You'd work them, you'd want to invest your money into them. And I think that's where a lot of major labels have gone wrong now with bands. They just don't have they don't take the risk. It's like with anything now, a lot of things, they just don't take the risk. It's like the promoters, some of them now, they don't want to take the risk on a live show. So yeah, you'd want to take the risk, and you'd actually want to work the band, and you can bring the very best out in them. So
Yeah.
That's what I'd do.
I mean, I think that's a really smart idea because, some bands you need to take the risk on them because it's like they might be great live, but they still need to learn how to write songs and, make a good album. And it takes time. It's not an overnight thing.
Yeah,
But,
definitely,
if you're willing to work with them and help them, if they're good live, they're going to create a great album. It's just might take a little bit of time.
Definitely. I mean, you think about how many bands, like Dokken, for example, aren't they? The first Dokken album, it's not the best, is it? I mean,
No.
and even they admit that. And to be fair, I think they've admitted they were in trouble at that point. But nowadays, they've just been dropped. They wouldn't have had that chance to do Tooth and Nail. It was like, please give us another chance. Please give us another chance. They'd be like, no, you're gone. It's sad, really. It is really sad. I think because it's great nowadays with independent artists and stuff. It is great, but I do think for bands, it is always good having that. If you do get the option to have a major record deal and you're not being, you've obviously got to read the fine print and be careful what you're signing. But it is good because they do sign, because then you've got that a little bit of financial backing. They can push you out to more people. Depends what level you want to take it to, really. But I mean, when I was in Roxxi Red, we went up to London with our EP and we were going to all the record companies and handing it out, and it was just dead. You turn up to these places and there's barely anyone working them anymore. It's just barren. It's not there. Yeah. It's really strange.
Yeah. That's just so sad.
Yeah. But I think the problem is a lot of the major record labels, they ate each other up, really. I think Atlantic got eaten by, they've all just been swallowed up by Universal or Sony. It's a shame, really.
It is.
It is a shame.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's like in America with all the
about the same. About the same. Not any better.
Not any better.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
for
our last question, unfortunately, what is your most ridiculous story from a show you've played?
Oh my god. It's quite a few. I mean, so a lot of people seem to say to me I look a bit like Brian May. I've had that before a few times, because my hair just goes a bit crazy, especially when I'm on stage, I'm sweating and stuff. And we did a gig at, I think it was in Oxford. This was in Roxxi Red, and Guns N' Roses, Gaffer Singer. I got up and done a number with them because I'd sometimes get up and do a whole lot of Rosie or Rocket Queen or something. Got with them, and he said, "This is Brian May's son." He announced it was Brian May's son. And some woman afterwards actually came backstage and said, "Can I have an autograph off you? Are you, tell me about Queen and stuff." And I'm like, "You do realize I'm actually not Brian May's son. I'm just And she's like, yeah, but you look so much like you've got to be. I was like, no, it was just, they're just saying that on stage. So that's one of my most, funny moments I probably had, like, off
That
You
is
gotta
stage.
really
ask your
funny.
mom, where were you 9 months before I was born? And who
Yeah.
exactly were you with? What year were you with Brian May of Queen? This is a serious question. Take this seriously.
I don't remember Brian May being on Milkman when we were delivering.
Hey,
Yeah.
Queen had its rough times. Maybe he had a stint where he was like, I gotta make some extra cash on the side, you know?
It's just, it's just one of those things. It's just, I just didn't expect someone to come backstage and be like, you're Brian Mace. It's just it's funny, but yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, we've had loads of other ridiculous shows where it's been like, I've seen band members falling into drum kits and that kind of thing. Like I remember we did a gig once, again, very early days of Roxy. Our bass player at the time was like really drunk on stage and just decided to like he hadn't changed into like his glam clothes. He just put like his leathers over like his he's a biker. He just fell into this drum kit whilst we were playing Talk Dirty to Me. And like with that riff, you can't afford to keep playing that over and over and over and over. So it's
Nope.
like, oh god. So that was embarrassing. But
That's rough.
yeah. And
Look, you gotta embarrass yourself on stage every now and then. That's how you build character.
It keeps
you're
you
gonna
humble.
you're gonna have moments where like a guitar string breaks or something, and you're just standing there, and because I'm the only guitar player. If that happens to me, I literally just look at the other guys, and I'm just like, I can't do anything about it at the moment. I've got no guitar, and I just look at the audience and I show them the string, and they all laugh at it. And I take my guitar off quietly and just go, keep playing.
In my opinion, that's what makes live music, though. It's all the hiccups and stuff. Like, you're not seeing a machine live. You're not seeing the recording. It's a live act. Like, things are going to happen.
This is a person, and there's gonna be things that happen out of our control. You know.
Yeah. I've just always been taught, because I used to do a lot of jam nights, and it was always like, if you cock up, you just keep playing. You don't stop playing. You keep the song going.
Right.
You don't. It's even now like when we've got these like temporary, these drummers filling in for the Motley Crue band. I mean, we've got a new guy starting soon, but yeah, the one we last did. I just said to him, mate, just literally just keep playing. And he said, you do your thing. You learn. You play it how you've always played it, and I'll just make it fit around you. And it went down so well. I like it. I like those shows. I get a kick out of them sometimes because it's that adrenaline just keeps increasing. Like, oh my god, we could potentially like really cock up here, and it's going to be terrible. But I like that sometimes because you're like, oh, got to be, it's
keep you on your toes, keeps things exciting.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
All right, well, that's the last of our questions. So, Roxy, you want to wrap this up?
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's all the time we have here today. We've got to get out of here, as the song goes. Thank you so much, George, for coming on the podcast today. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. It means a lot. Hopefully, we can do another one at some point in the
future. Absolutely.
We'd love to.
Yes, we would love to have you back. We'll schedule something.
Yeah.
And we will see you guys in the next episode.